talk you through the chords on the left hand of the main tune first of all. At the tail end I'll go back and show you the introduction. So the main chords are quite straightforward. The first passage, the first 3 bars, are just going to be on the chord of C, but we're going to have this rhythm. So that's going to happen just 3 times, and it's up to you whether you play it sustained or have a little gap. It's good to vary that, but the actual notes are C bass, and then C major chord, and then G bass, which is the dominant of C, so that's part of the C chord. And the reason I've chosen that rhythm is I think it's quite nice to have a little bit of space in the middle of the bar, because that's where the tune plays. So the activity in the right hand doesn't need to be matched by activity in the left hand. So that's the first 3 bars. Just C chord, G, C chord, G, C chord. Then we get to bar 4 of the tune. We have a D minor chord, that's 2 up from C, and then a G chord. So that's just bass chord, bass chord, D minor, G major. So the first 4 bars are C chord, G, C chord, G, C chord, G, D minor chord, D minor, G, G major. And then we go into D minor, and we do it a very similar thing, but instead of going D minor, A, D minor, which you would expect, this actually goes back to the G. So it's D minor, G, D minor, and over again we get that 3 times. And that takes us home to C. It's up to you, as I say, whether you leave a gap or not. It's also up to you which finger you use for the G, because you can play the D minor and back to G and D with the same finger. That's the one I use because I'm training my ring finger to do most of the bass work, but you might find it easier to have a separate finger for the G. It's certainly smoother that way than this, but I like to keep something familiar in the way I'm playing, and that's to use this finger for the basses generally. So 3 of those, and then this is quite nice. We're not going to have any chords during this bar. We're just going to have a chromatic scale to start with. So C, C sharp. You can see how far away that is. That's C, and then the G row, the D row, and the C sharp's on the A row. So semitone going up is quite a big jump on an accordion. And then, but the next semitone is quite small, and when we're moving up from this row here, counterbass. So semitone up from the bass row to the counterbass row is a long way. Then to get to the D is a short way. That's hard to get your head around, the fact that it can be a different distance for semitones. But it depends which way you're going, from the bass row to the counterbass row, or from the counterbass row to the bass row. So I hope that's clear. So C, C sharp, D, and then back to G. That's quite a good little pattern to practice. It's quite a good turnaround. So we've had D minor, G D minor, G D minor, G G, then C, C sharp, D, G, and then we're back to the C section. So that's so 3 of those, C chord, G, C chord, G, C chord, and then we have an F chord, which is the next one below C. It's up to you what you do rhythmically with that chord. You can do anything you like or just hold it. So that section again. And then it gets interesting. We find the D minor again, straight down to F minor, and then C. It really doesn't matter whether you play anything like that or just C. So that again is D minor, F minor, C, then D. This is complicated, so we're going to keep the D chord going for a second, but we're going to walk down to the C. So we're going to have a walking bass note under a similar sort of chord. And you'll find, although I've always said that the middle finger is the D, is the major. So the middle finger is the major chords. So if I was to play C, C major, C minor, 3 different fingers, bass notes, major chord, minor chord. Just for this once, I'm going to suggest that you play the major chord with the index finger. So you have to tuck it in right behind the bass note. And the reason you want to do that is that you want to use your 4th finger to go down to the C, but play another D chord with it. So D chord, C chord, but that chord is still the D major chord. And then we're going to switch to a minor chord. So we need to pull that back to so it's major, major, minor. So let me find the D again. Where am I? D major, D major over C, and then we're going to walk forward that semitone. Remember, it's a small jump in this direction, and that's a B. But we're going to have a minor chord with it. So we've had 2 majors, and just slip the finger back for the D minor chord. Let me talk you through that again. So it's D major over C, B, but with a D minor chord above it, and then a G major chord after that. Well, the B is already part of the G major, so we need just to shift. There. We talk you through that a couple of times. D major, but with the wrong fingering. C with D major above it. B with D minor above it. And staying on that row, play a G chord. Now that might seem like all the tension's gone with that chord because we've had some tension, harmonic tension with the walking bass. So we've got D over C, D minor over B. And in case you think we're losing all the tension there at the climax of the piece, we're not, because this hand is adding some. So this hand, over those chords, we've got the D major chord, the D over C, the D minor over B, and then the G chord, but we've got this A flat here, and an F, and an E. So on its own, that's plenty crunchy. F, A flat, E, resolving to the D. And all of that is over a G chord. So I'll play you through the right hand during that little section there. We've got D major, D major over C, D minor over B, crunchy chord, and that's the big moment in the piece. And then we finish off with, let me get you back to the left hand. Then we finish off with C, that familiar pattern, only 2 bars this time, and then we're going to go to D minor, so up to D minor, and then just G, C to finish with. So I'll play through the whole section, just the left hand. So from the beginning of the main tune, it's 3 bars of C with the G, C in it. Then we go to D minor, G, D minor, over with a G, D minor, G, D minor, G, C, C sharp, D, G, then C section again, F, then find your D minor, F minor, C major, then up to D, D over C, D minor over B, then G, then C, another C, D minor, G, C. Good. Very, very quickly through the introduction, because some people might want to play it. It's very free tempo. You can decide what you're doing tempo-wise. The chords are C. It goes up to A, D minor, G, C, G minor, A, D minor, G. And the tune is fairly straightforward, but you can change notes at will because it's quite flexible. I think I play different notes every time I play it, but the fact is that it's supposed to be the sort of musing before the real tune starts. Okay, I hope that's some use.